So today I'm gonna show you some tips and tricks on learning full PL, and my opinions won't be enough, of course. So I invited 9 other cubers, so a total of 10 cubers, and we're gonna show you some tips and tricks on learning full PL. So before we start, I'd like to thank every channel who participated in this collab, and definitely go subscribe to them. The links are in the pinned comment below. So firstly, here we have IOcuber, and he's from New Zealand. He averages 14 to 15 seconds, and he mains the GAN access. His videos are pretty cool, especially his Learning CL series, and yeah, you should definitely go check out his channel later. But right now, let's take a look at what tips he's got for you guys.
So hi, I'm IOcuber, so I'm going to be sharing 2 tips with you guys today. So my first tip is don't be lazy. What I mean by that is don't learn like easy algorithms. Instead learn like a little bit more harder ones, and so that they are a little bit quicker. So for example, don't use the lefty arm, use this arm. So my second tip is drill your algorithms. If you don't know what it means to drill your algorithms, it basically means to do the same algorithm over and over again, so hopefully you can develop some new finger tricks in your algorithms, so eventually you'll get really quick at them. So I hope you like those 2 tips.
Next up we have QBING from Singapore. He averages sub 12.5 seconds, and he mains the Weilong WRM. And his name's quite creative. It's actually QBING, but Q is just the letter Q. So when pronounced, it's like QBING. Okay, that's interesting.
Hey guys, it's QBING. For PLL, I recommend learning the PLLs in groups or categories. This can help you learn them more systematically. As such, breaking down the 21 algorithms into 5 main categories is what I would recommend. Permutation of edges, permutation of corners, permutation of adjacent corners, permutation of diagonal corners, and the G-perms. This can be found online at CubeRazn PLLs, a PDF compiled by Felix Zemdex and Andy Kleins. Next, I'll be talking about PLL recognition. So for PLL recognition, what I recommend is this website, TrainYu. And as you can see on the left, there's a lot of elk sets. What you want to do in this case, click PLLs. The PLLs will appear here, the timer in the center, and the virtual cube on the right. So this generator generates PLL algorithms, so you can see here, and then you can time how long you take for this PLL. And then as you can see, there are checkboxes here. If you check 4 of these, means you have learned all 4, and you only generate from these 4, and thus you can train the algorithms that you have already learned only. And in the case of recognition, what you want to do is only inspect the cube after starting the time, so that you can specifically train this recognition time over time. Well, that's all for me. Thank you.
And then we have Namuun stuff from Ireland. He averaged 16 to 17 seconds and mains the GAN access. So he's actually one of the first subscribers to my channel, or I don't know if he subscribed, but he's the first few guys to check out my channel when I was like 20 subs, so I really appreciate it. He also likes to doodle or play Brawl Stars, I think. Brawl Stars. Okay, I don't know what that is, but okay, so just definitely go check out his channel. He's got many different kinds of videos.
So I learned full PLL when I was averaging about 22 seconds, and I believe that it got me sub 20. It took me a couple of weeks to learn full PLL, but it was definitely worth it. So some sources I got some help from are cubeskills.com, the PDF is super helpful, jperm.net, the PLL trainer is amazing, and some YouTubers, Tingman, Jperm, and Birdie the Cuber. You should go check them out. And my tips for people trying to learn full PLL, I recommend you learn full PLL when you average 20 to 30 seconds. And I also recommend you keep G-perms for last. Now, keeping G-perms for last is just my own personal experience. Some people think G-perms are really hard, but after all the experience you get from the other algorithms, G-perms are really easy. But this is just personal preference. So, yeah.
Alright, that was pretty cool. But next up we have MDCuber. He's the biggest channel in our collab because he has like 650 subs or something. He's from Israel, averages 10.5 seconds, and he doesn't have a main. But he uses a GTS 3 and a Valk Elite. Yep, and he's sponsored by a cube shop. I think it's called rlcubeshop, and definitely go use his discount code. Yeah, that's all I have to say.
Hey, what's up guys? This is MDCuber. Today I'm going to help you guys and give you guys some tips on how to learn full PLL. So before we get into that, I average around 10 seconds. I've been cubing for around 1.5 years. I'm not sure when I learned full PLL, but I think I finished it around half a year ago. So I have 4 tips for all of you guys out there trying to learn full PLL. I'm gonna have to agree with Nike on this first tip. Just do it. It doesn't matter whether you average 7 seconds or 10 minutes. Full PLL will still help you drop your times by a lot. So if you don't already know full PLL and didn't even start learning yet, then just start by doing one new PLL today. So this brings me to my second tip. When you're learning full PLL, don't rush it. If you try to do a bunch of PLLs every single day, you're just gonna get very frustrated and you probably won't even be able to remember a lot of the algorithms. And that will cause you to quit learning PLL. Instead, just do one a day or maybe one every 2 days and you'll get there eventually. If you want to optimize the amount of time it'll take you to learn an algorithm, then I suggest that you should learn triggers. Triggers is basically a set of moves that will appear in a bunch of algorithms. For example, R prime U prime, aka sexy move, appears in T perm, J perm, and a bunch of other algorithms. In order to learn triggers, you can just search on YouTube Rubik's Cube triggers, and I also have a video on triggers if you want to go look at that. My last tip for you guys out there is once you've learned an algorithm, execute it 50 to 100 times. 50 times might sound like a lot, but it's really not. It should only take at most 10 minutes. So that's all the tips I have for you guys. I hope you enjoyed.
So next up we have Scott the Cube guy from Ireland, averaged 9 to 11 seconds, which is pretty fast, and made Tavoculi. So Scott the Cube guy is actually like guest of this collab because he's the only cuber I don't know. Like I just searched up random cubing channels and just asked them if they could join or not, and Scott the Cube guy was the only one who joined, and yeah, really appreciate it even though I don't know you, but you joined as well. Yeah.
I think I started cubing 3 to 5 weeks before I started learning PLL, because I learned F12 a week after the beginner's methods. A few weeks later I started learning PLL and also 2 LLs, and I wrote down like sheets like this of all PLLs. These are probably outdated, but they're algorithms I used. Little pictures I drew to help me remember. So it's 2 LL, all sorts of stuff like Ru, whatever. I started off by learning like I think U perm. Those are simplest ones. And then J perms, T perms, whatever like that. And it took me about 2 weeks in total to learn PLL, with like a 4-day break on the second week. It wasn't really that challenging. It just took a bit of time, and that's, I think, you need a bit of patience to learn full PLL.
Then there's FunCuber, averages 15 seconds and made the Ganera Pro. And FunCuber is actually a pretty cool cubing channel. Definitely go subscribe to him right now because he said he'll take a break from YouTube or something like that because he's getting 2 less subscribers than views. So yeah, definitely go just check out his channel right now.
What's up guys, FunCuber here, and today I'm going to show you 3 really useful tips on learning full PLL. So let's get started. So my first tip is to learn the faster algorithm, not the easier one. A lot of people generally use this algorithm for NPerm, and I just thought it was pretty easy to learn. You're just doing moves all over and over again, but it's not fast. So I would say learn the actual NPerm, which I just messed up. It's not only for NPerm, it's for every single PL. Try and learn the algorithm everyone uses, because that's definitely gonna be faster. Second tip is to learn the cases that you get the most. For example, if you get a lot of J perms, learn the J perm. If you get a lot of G perms,
this, learn the G-perm. It doesn't matter. It's hard. Just try, and you will get faster. And my third and last tip is to have good finger tricks. So basically, I can't really show this, but basically you need to have good finger tricks in order to be fast. Because if you have bad finger tricks, for example like this, then when you need to have good finger tricks, it's gonna be hard to learn them. Anyway, that was the video. Bye bye.
Alright, that was pretty cool. So next we have QBING, and QBING actually makes pretty cool cubing content. It's mostly tutorials and they're really high quality. And he comes from Australia. Averages 10 seconds and uses the VOG powers as his main. So yeah, we've been shouting out each other for a long time already. So you probably know who he is.
And now let me tell you some tips and tricks on how you can learn full PLL. Take it slowly. It's not like a math test where there's like 1 week left. There's unlimited time for you to do it. So basically, you know, learn 1 or 2 a day. Start with the easy ones. Leave G-perms for the last because, again, who wants to deal with that nightmare? So, you know, learn the easy ones and deal with the hard ones at last. Or you can go like the other way and deal with the hard ones and do easy at the last. It is your choice. So another tip is to look for patterns in the algorithms. So I actually might make another video on how you can remember like different algorithms, because in algorithms there are like patterns. So for example, the T-perm, it has at least 3 to 4 patterns in it. So the sexy move is number 1, R, U, R prime, U prime. Then you bring this down, watch this pair, F, and then you move the R twice, so you can remember that sequence after R, U, R prime. Then we can insert this pair into here, and then do a U and then a sexy move without the U prime and then F prime. So you can break down algorithms to help you easier remember it. So you can break down algorithms to remember it easier, other than looking at a strand of letters on top.
So second to last we have the QBING Gymnast, and that kind of rhymes. Okay, fine. So, and he comes from US, averages 17 to 18 seconds, and makes the guy access. So QBING Gymnast, I've not got much thing to say about him, but definitely go join his giveaway. He's giving away some cubes for 100 subscribers. Definitely go join. The link is in the description.
Hey everyone, today I'm going to be teaching you my tips for learning full PLL. So let's get into it. Alright, so tip number 1, I personally recommend having a physical alg sheet, because when you have it on a computer, it can be hard to learn because you don't want to carry your computer around. So what I did was I printed it out on this PDF, and then I laminated it, and I was able to bring it in my backpack to school or wherever, and it just made it super easy to just easily have them out whenever you needed them. Then what I did was I started learning them in sets. So first I would learn the easy ones like, say, an H-perm. And I would learn then also the other one that goes through the middle. So I learned all the algorithms that had similar move sets. So like the H-perm and then whatever the other one is, where it's like this, where you've got 2 pieces like this and this. What I did was I basically learned them together because they were a bunch of M moves, and so it helped me get better at them, because when you're practicing, say, an H-perm, it helps you with the other one, or the other one helps you with the H-perm just because you're getting better at doing M slices, but also it helps you like that. And then also like the T-perm and the J-perm, and then the other one where it switches 2 corners and 2 edges. Those have really similar algorithms, so if you learn them simultaneously or close to it together, it can be super easy, because like for one of them, it's 3 extra moves beginning and end, and they're the same moves. So it makes it super easy to learn if you learn them in just an order like that, where you learn them where they're similar algorithms at the same time, because it can help you memorize. Then also what I do is while I did learn PLL, what I did was I tried to do 1 algorithm a day. Now I know everybody says this, but it's true. If you just practice 1 algorithm a day, 30 minutes, you learn the algorithm, and then throughout the day you just randomly practice it, and if you ever forget it, you just go look back at the alg sheet. So, and then what I did was, after I learned all the algorithms, during that time when I was learning the algorithms, I would, while doing solves, try to implement it, and if I did not remember it, I would not do to look, I would stop, go look at the algorithm, and then continue to solve it. And then I would just practice. And also what I did too was I would scramble it. There was on CS Timer a scramble where it only scrambles the top face and one F12, and practice that because it doesn't take as long to do an actual full solve. And so you're able to practice last slot and then looking into LOL and PLL, and it just makes it an easy way to just practice it because you and recognizing it in solves. So yeah, so those are going to be my tips for learning full PLL, and so yeah.
For the last one with QBING2 from the US, she's sub 14 and she made the Vocalate. And she's doing some free critiques, so go check out her channel.
What's up YouTube? Welcome back to QBING. This is how I learned full PLL. Okay, so it started off by just learning CFOP in general, and I was using CubeRaz's tutorials. So he taught me the 8 perm and the U perm. Okay, so it's whenever you have headlights in the back and you have a block. Now, I didn't learn how the case looked. It was just whenever there were headlights in the back, I would do this algorithm. Or if I didn't have any headlights at all, then I would do the algorithm and then look for the headlights, put them in the back, and do it. Okay, and then he taught me how to do this U-perm. Basically, you put the checkered one in front of you and the solve side on the right, and you do L2, U prime, F prime B, L2, F, B prime, U prime, L2. But then I started to learn some new PLL algorithms, and I printed out SpeedCube Review's PLL algorithm sheet. So I think I learned the Y perm after that because I wanted to learn blindfolded, and you need to know an altered Y perm. So it's basically a Y perm without the 2 F's at the end. Before I watched CubeRaz's video, I already knew how to do an H perm, but I did it like this. But then I think I learned the Z perm after the Y perm. Towards the middle of 2019, I started to get serious about learning full OLL and full PLL, and I learned the T perm, F perm, V perm, R perms, J perms, N perms, both U perms, both A perms. I figured this one out on my own, and then I started to recognize this case as I was doing that algorithm. So I learned the G perms last. I didn't use this the whole time. Then I used Silo the King's PLL algorithm sheet, and that's how I learned my G perms. But then I also learned from J perm the way you recognize them. Okay, so tips for learning full PLL, I would say practice as much as you can, drill your algorithms, find triggers, don't be afraid to just do it. Once you pick up an algorithm, make sure you learn that algorithm that day. Basically what I do is to memorize algorithms. I take all my 3x3s, so just say I had 2 3x3s, I would take both my 3x3s and I would set it up. So I want the other A perm, so I just do it until then, so it helps me drill it out a little bit. And then I do it on both of them. If I don't have it down, then I do it again. Once I think I have it down, then I take one of the cubes, set it up, put it off to the side, take my other cubes, and learn some other algorithms. Then, once I learn another algorithm, I take this one back, and I try doing it again. If I fail to do it, then I redo it with all of my cubes until I have it in my muscle memory. See you guys next time. Peace out.
At last, we have lkcubing, who's me, and I come from Hong Kong. I averaged 15 seconds and I made the Tengen V2. So my first tip is you must have a schedule. So for example, you learn 1 algorithm a day or 2 algorithms a day, and that'll be great, but more than 2 a day will be hard for you, so I don't recommend you doing that. If you learn too much algs a day, then your brain can't hold so much algs, so eventually you just can't recall those algorithms and you'll just not remember all of them. And if you learn too less a day, you'll just get lazy and just refuse to learn, and then you might just quit or give up. My second tip is learn the best algorithm for that case. So for instance, here's an NB perm. You can see the second algorithm is very easy to execute. So it goes like this. This is a very easy algorithm, very easy to remember, but the execution time is very long, so why just don't use the optimal alg for this case? I know it's much harder to memorize, but eventually you'll have to stop to the top alg soon, because once you become advanced, you can't use these algs, right? My last tip is you have to be good at memorizing algorithms. So what I mean is, for example, you're learning JB, so you just do this, and then you keep doing this again, and then without looking at a paper, you can still do this. And that doesn't mean you've learned the alg already. You have to like wait for tomorrow and then try to do this again. If you can still do this, then you've truly memorized the algorithm. But if you're just, oh, I'm repeating and I can remember it, now I can move on to the next one. And then if you just move on, do all the PLs, and eventually you just forget all of them. So yeah, remember, you have to recall and you have to remember. So before we end this video, huge shout outs to everybody who participated in this video: IOcuber, QBING, Namuun stuff, MDCuber, and also Scott the Cube guy, FunCuber, CubeRazn, Gymnast, and QBING. So shout out to all these guys, they are so cool, and I'll put their channel links in the description, also in the pinned comment. So definitely go subscribe to them, and also subscribe to me, because this video took a long time to plan and make. So yeah, that's it, and goodbye.